Hi class, welcome to my informative speech. My name is Rogelio Abraham Vizcarra, and today I will be talking about the implications of the fast fashion industry in our environment and our society. First, I would like to start by saying that for a long time I have been a fashion enthusiast because I find that it is an easy and creative way to express yourself and to create statements. Fashion has evolved a lot throughout time, and we can see this reflected in history. Like, for example, when the nobility used to distinguish itself by wearing all these extravagant garments and fine jewelry in order to portray their wealth, whereas peasants or the working class used to wear cheap, simple, and functional clothes into their day-to-day lives. Though this is quite interesting, I'm not here to talk about fashion history, but rather to inform about the one of the biggest issues our environment is facing due to the materialism and hunger of humans to create this illusion of perhaps wealth or distinguish yourself from others, like the nobility used to do in the medieval times. The newly born fashion industry of fast fashion is the product of this behavior and is killing our world and our society. Fast fashion industry is based on trends and fashion, of course, and it is a highly profitable industry with a net worth of $35.8 billion in 2019 alone. And this is according to the Modern Gentleman's website. This is because garments are created in such a fast-paced manner in manufacturers in countries like China, India, Vietnam, Cambodia, and other Asian countries. Some examples of these companies are ones that we often visit and love to buy, and I am guilty of this because I have a visual aid for you, and it would be a Nike t-shirt. It's a pretty nice one. I really like it. Or a Converse t-shirt. And there are many more others like Fashion Nova, Shane, Adidas. There are many of them. And the garments of these companies are usually made with cheap and alternative materials like nylon and polyester. The success of this industry has been made possible due to the high demand and consumption of this affordable mass-produced good. I'm sorry, excuse me. The industry has generated a tremendous impact in our environment, and I like to say something that is ironic because cheap styles or cheap fashion is expensive. This is true because the industry is using non-biodegradable synthetic materials like nylon, which in the long term produces a tremendous amount of waste. Let's do an example. If you buy a t-shirt and it's made of 100% polyester and then you dispose of it, it takes about 30 to 40 years to fully decompose. Whereas if you buy a garment made out of a natural fiber like cotton, it will take approximately 1 to 5 months to fully decompose. It is a tremendous amount of time. And I have another visual aid for you. For example, excuse me. This is a piece of a garment that's made of 100% polyester. And if you try to burn it, it would not burn. It will actually melt. So this demonstrates that even though if garments made out of 100% polyester burn, the residue will remain and it's plastic. And I have here a piece of cotton, a normal piece of cotton, and I try to burn it, and this is highly flammable. It will decompose immediately. When it touches the flame, it will become ashes. So that's something to keep in mind. And I have another statistic provided from the New York Times newspaper, and it says that more than 60% of fabrics are made out of synthetic materials that come from fossil fuels, and about 80% uh, of textiles in the United States usually end up in landfills and are incinerated. And the bad thing about this is that they won't decompose in a long period of time, creating a lot of pollution. Now, pollution is a great a great impact in our environment, but it's not the only one. The other issue with this industry, with the fast fashion industry, is the mistreatment of the people who work for it. Because as we know, many of these companies are located in Asian countries. So the workers there usually work in harsh conditions, and they work in buildings that are inadequate for what they do. And I can say this because a Sustainable Style organization statistics shows that garment workers usually work for 14 to 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. And they have no way of declining these offers because the wages are so low that it's not enough to provide for a good living. So that is another sad part of the fast fashion industry. And like I said before, as if that wasn't enough, they work in terrible conditions. The buildings are highly flammable. There's no access to ventilation or water, and they're very prone to inhale toxic substances from the residue of the textiles. A great example of this happened in 1911 in the state of New York when a shirtwaist factory burned due to the negligence of the owner, because in that time migrants were forced to work in non-skilled professions because they didn't know the English or any other skill. So this happened because a owner of this company made the migrants work in this factory in unsafe conditions, which led to the factory burning, and it cost the lives of more than 100 people. So that's another example. And to summarize what has been stated so far, the fast fashion industry is creating a tremendous impact in our world by generating an insane amount of non-biodegradable waste from textiles used to produce mass quantities of clothes. This is it is also affecting the lives of hardworking purple people who are mistreated by these corporations, demanding them to work for long hours for little to no pay. So if this industry continues to be supported by consumers like us, our planet and society will pay the consequences. And actually, we already are paying them, because for instance, we have the global warming, and millions of sea animals are dying because they have consumed trash that is produced by the wastes that we generate. And I would like to conclude by saying that cheap trends end up in bad terms. Thank you.